I was third in line. Well, I grew up in Lost Nation and Elwood, and then Lost Nation again, and just in that area, Lost Nation, Elwood area. My dad worked on the railroad, and he was gone, and so my mom went out to Clinton to have me out there, and then I went back to Chicago. So it was just pretty much the six of us, and it was so different for us because Mom was home. We'd come home from school, and she might have made homemade bread, and we'd have a whole loaf of homemade bread for lunch with jelly on it or whatever, you know. That was our after-school treat. Or she'd have a big pot of goulash or a big pot of chili or spaghetti. She always had everything cleaned up. We came home to never a dirty house, other than this clothes hanging all over the place, you know. But that was nice to come home. And so then that second, when the rest of them, and they moved to Wisconsin, then Mom worked. And so we can't relate to that because it was completely different for us than it was the last six, you know. Our house was always clean. I don't know how she did it. And I can remember coming home from school and there'd be clotheslines with clothes, the lines would be full of clothes. Well, and of course when we'd have a baby, if it was winter, she had these little racks she'd hang over the door and all these diapers lined up. And it's hard to explain, but there were just little hooks that went over the door and about, maybe 8 wires, and you just hung clothes up there so they dried in the house and dried them all over the house. And then in the wintertime, when we'd come home from school, even Dad's work clothes would be out there, we'd bring them in and they'd be frozen and they'd stand up for a while till they thawed out. She just hung them out. We didn't have such a thing as a dryer. We were just lucky to have a washing machine, you know. And then she had a wringer type washing machine that she'd roll out in the kitchen and fill it with water, and crazy. We were lucky if we had an inside toilet. We were lucky if we had running water and all that kind of stuff, you know. Mostly we had. There was one place we didn't have inside toilet, but we did have running water. But on one of the places that we lived, we had a summer kitchen, and my dad put a bathtub out in the summer kitchen. It wasn't very private, and we would put water in the bathtub. And there was, like, they called it a little donut, which sounds like we should have been electrocuted. But you plugged this little donut into the wall, in the outlet, and it warmed up our water in the bathtub. And about 3 of us would take a bath, or 5 maybe, in the same bath water. Can you imagine? When you're done, you pulled the plug and it just run out in the ground. We had a cook stove that you put the wood in, you know. One time we decided we were really going to get it warm and keep it, because they said don't let it die out, you know, or it's hard to start and get going again. So we just kept adding and adding and adding this wood. Well, the top just got red. We overheated it, you know. That's how we heated. And then we had one of the other houses in Elwood, then it had an oil burner, and we had no heat upstairs, but there was a register through the kitchen up to the bedrooms, and that room might, you know, take the chill off, but you could almost freeze a glass of water if you set it in the windowsill. But we put our pillows or pajamas or whatever on top of this oil burner, and quick, get into them while they're hot, and take your pillow, fold it, and get upstairs and open it up, and it'd be warm, you know. So our houses weren't downstairs; they were pretty comfortable, but we slept in pretty cold weather or temperatures. We never thought too much about it. That's just the way it was. We had a big hill, so we used to have sleigh riding parties. And we had an English teacher, and his name was Mr. DeLashmuth, and he was a character. But he loved to come to our house, and we'd have hot chocolate, you know, for treat after we went sleigh riding, and they always welcomed any of our friends, anytime at all. Yep. We got the same thing every year for Christmas, it seemed like. We'd always get one little present, and then pajamas or underwear, but we just thought it was the most wonderful thing ever. And we knew kind of what we were going to get, but my dad would take canning lids and shake them in a thing, and we'd be in the other room and he'd shake it, and that meant Santa came. And in the meantime, they'd put the gifts out, you know. We had no money, but we didn't know it. And everybody in Lost Nation, and well, especially Lost Nation, they knew we didn't have money, and they just admired Mother and to be able to keep everybody clean and whatever, you know. And people would always give us clothes, and we had this storeroom that was just full of clothes. And we'd say, oh, or somebody would say, oh, did you get something new? No, we got it out of the storeroom. But you know, there was about 4 different families that bring us good clothes. There was nothing wrong with them, and we were just thrilled. Yeah. My mother would get so mad at me. If I was in the kitchen duty, I'd clean every cupboard. Well, you don't do that. On Saturday, you kind of get everything dusted and cleaned and stuff, you know. So I kind of made more of a mess, but I got a lot done, but not maybe till midnight. So they'd say, you go over. I went overboard, but just the one day. Oh, we love to work outside. To this day, you know, once I get out there, I love to be out there because my dad was hurt in his car accident, you know, and so we go out and do the field work and a little 2-row plow, and you'd have to plow 60 acres or whatever. And of course, now they can get 60 acres down in about 3 swipes, you know. But yeah, we knew that everybody loved each other and got along, and you know, Mom taught us right from wrong, and that was it. Phyllis gave me a little saying, chance made us sisters, hearts made us friends. You know, isn't that cute? I think just the way we were brought up to, you know, love and respect everybody, and, you know, and we do. We accept anybody or anything, you know. I mean, they are all special. That's all there is to it. Yeah. Yeah.